Ambulance chasers. We've all heard the term and even joked about lawyers who follow ambulances for clients and even call people who have been in accidents. But if you get a call from an attorney after an accident, what do you do? Well, joining us to talk about it and tell it like it is our Bobbie Seller of Seller Law PA. So happy to have you back.
Thank you, Maury.
A lot of people want to know about this. Like, what is the rule of thumb when you get that call?
Well, the problem is you're not supposed to get a call. It's illegal to be called by a lawyer if you're involved in a car accident or for any reason. So that's why this reputation is out there, and that's why, we get this bad stigma, because there are, some bad apples in the bunch that call you when you're involved in car accidents and other situations like that.
So do you think that's why people are so leery of lawyers now, because of that kind of thing?
Lawyers do get a bad rap, and personally, I never wanted to practice personal injury law when I first started, and I did it for a few years. It was only until I helped thousands of patients with medical bills through hospitals that I decided to practice, because some of these people really needed help. So I wanted to help them.
Well, that makes sense.
And I try to make the difference and separate myself from, that.
He's not one of those lawyers.
I'm not one of those lawyers.
But when is a good time to call a lawyer when you have a problem?
Right, the law is integrated in everything. Whether you get married, you have a contract, somebody passes away, a bankruptcy. So you always need a lawyer, but you always want to be selective in the lawyer that you choose.
Okay, so I guess a good time to get a lawyer would be if handcuffs are involved, right?
Handcuffs, contract, a car accident, any of those situations. So you just want to be careful when selecting a lawyer to make sure that you have the lawyer that's right for you.
Do you have any tips for maybe estate planning? Is that a time to get a decent lawyer too?
It is. I mean, hopefully you do it beforehand. You always want to plan ahead. Nobody wants to think about death, of course, but you always want to plan at least a few steps ahead, so that you're not in that situation where all of a sudden you're looking for a lawyer at the worst time you possibly could be.
And of course, this has been happening every single day somebody's getting divorced. That's definitely a time you need an attorney, right?
I would definitely recommend that. Yes. Just be careful again of who you're choosing.
So when you're choosing them, though, do you have any tips as far as knowing what's a good one, who's not a good lawyer? Any signs off top that would tell you?
You got to like your lawyer. You got to make sure your lawyer calls you back. A lot of law firms have their paralegals call, and you can never speak with your lawyer. So make sure you like your lawyer, make sure they have the experience, and make sure that they practice that type of law.
Okay, so any other tips you have for people? Say, I guess, because even if the lawyer is not calling you, but if you are injured somehow, you do need one. So what's the first step after making that phone call? Is there anything?
Right, so you want to make sure clearly that the lawyer practices that type of law, but don't respond to a lawyer that calls you. Again, you should never be called. So you want to do a little bit of a background check. Again, make sure you like your lawyer, and if you get in a car accident, there are a lot of steps that you have to take, which we can talk about in future segments.
Awesome. Well, I have enough questions, but if you have some questions, you can email them to questions@sellerlaw.com. That's questions@sellerlaw.com.